Hey there, ladies and gents, the favorite Asian robot, also hopefully your favorite DarkTide partner. Now, I'm here today to actually rework the Voidstrike's build for the Psyker, and the reason I'm doing that is because there was a change recently to this Kinetic Shield feat. In the past, the wording said it was based on warp charges. Now it's changed over to say that it's based on peril. This has sort of negatively impacted on some of the builds and positively impacted others. For the Surge Staff build, this has actually been a benefit, but for the Voidstrike build, those of you who saw me doing the testing, you guys know that I was getting killed left, right, and center, and it was no longer very effective for the Voidstrike build, even though I tried to synergize it with some of the other feats and talents. So in order to make it better, I actually did a lot of testing, and I finally came up with a reworked Voidstrike build that allows you to use the staff in T5. In fact, the gameplay footage that I'll show you later is taken from a Damnation run that I did. So let me just remove my webcam now and go through this. Starting out with your weapons, all right? You want to have a Force Sword with Deflector, okay? And you want a Voidstrike Force Staff. Curios, the usual toughness, wound, max health, standard. In terms of the Force Sword, in the past with the Voidstrike Staff, you did not need it to have Deflector. Unfortunately, now you do. This is because you will be making good use of kinetic deflection, especially in threat level 4 and 5, to survive in place of Kinetic Shield. Okay, going through the feat choices, starting out at column 1, Quietude is your friend. With this particular build, Warp Absorption is a bit less effective because there will be multiple opportunities where you will get to use your Kinetic Barrage, and because of that, and because of the necessity of staying below critical peril for your Kinetic Flare to give you best effect, it is way better to have your Inner Tranquility here, and thus use Quietude as a means of regaining toughness as opposed to Warp Absorption. I tried with both, but Quietude performs leaps and bounds above the others. Okay, some have suggested Essence Harvest. I leave that as a personal choice because it's really down to whether or not you can continuously get warp charges, and sometimes I find that when I need it the most, I need to quell. Okay, Inner Tranquility is a no-brainer for the second column. Why? Because Psykinetic's Wrath, although you're using 2 force weapons, which would greatly benefit from Psykinetic's Wrath, and although you're using Quietude, which would greatly benefit from increasing the peril, Kinetic Flare requires you to generally keep your peril lower, and you're also not making use of Kinetic Shield. Therefore, these two are out of sync, and for that reason, right, Psykinetic's Wrath is not as useful in my opinion. You can still use it, but I found that with this build, it benefits you much more because the way that you play is more like a sniper with this whole loadout. You use your Psykinetic's Wrath as a means of triggering your Kinetic Barrage, then you burst key targets very, very quickly, and then you use the Psykinetic's aura to not only cool down everything for your team, but also for yourself, enabling you to barrage even more. And when you have hordes, you then use your Voidstrike Staff. That's the key to this whole build. So Inner Tranquility helps a lot with that. Okay, column 3, I went with Psykinetic's aura. I would say that this is absolutely necessary for this build. Why? Because you are going to make use of Kinetic Barrage as your main level 30 feat, which means the more times that you can spam your Psykinetic's Wrath, the more barrages you have, the faster that elites die, especially in T4, T5. This build allows you to become an elite sniper, but at the same time, it also makes you play as a very, very heavy backline focus character. So you're going to have to be careful of that because if your tanks cannot handle the aggro and cannot buy you space and time, you are completely done for. Okay, Kinetic Deflection will be your column 4 feat. The reason is because you're using the Force Sword with Deflector. Unfortunately, you can no longer make good use of Kinetic Shield, in my honest opinion. You can try, but I found that with the Force Sword with Deflector, you get better results. If you want to, you can still try Kinetic Shield, and it would enable you to still function as a sniper, but you'll get less use of this when you're using your Voidstrike Staff, as opposed to when you're barraging, because when you're barraging, this will actually be very helpful to you. So I leave the choice to you for this one. But my recommendation, my personal recommendation, is Kinetic Deflection with the Deflector Force Sword. It has honestly saved my ass in a lot of situations. But if you still want to make use of Kinetic Shield, you can still try it with the same loadout and playstyle. Both will actually work. But I found Kinetic Deflection slightly better, especially if you have to res somebody or, you know, emergency, you know, go into emergency savior mode. Okay, for your last two columns, we tested a lot of Warp Battery as well as Kinetic Flare, and honestly, Kinetic Flare came out on top. Why? In situations when you're dealing with the Horde, this is where this shines. It helps you maintain your warp charges, especially if you are very good with your peril management, especially, and you constantly quell and make use of your Psykinetic's Wrath. You can actually do very, very well with Kinetic Flare as opposed to Warp Battery. Warp Battery can still be good as well. Don't get me wrong on that, but I find that the slight ability to maintain my charges without barraging or focusing on brain bursting can really help me, especially if I have to use my Force Sword as well. It can help me maintain charges, which means that I have extra boosted damage during that entire sequence, and that actually saves my ass. So that is why Kinetic Flare is the choice here. And for the last column, I experimented with few, but honestly, Kinetic Barrage came out on top because you're already playing like a sniper. You're already in that sniper role with the Voidstrike staff. You're already playing so far in the back line that you're not really as active as you would be with the Brigadis. And certainly, the range on the Voidstrike is far longer than the Surge staff. So although you got to stick with your team, it encourages the Kinetic Barrage playstyle instead. Okay, so once again, loadout, very simple. Force Sword, Voidstrike, Force Staff, Toughness Curio, Health Curio, and 1 Wound Curio, okay? Try to get Gunner Resistance on all of them, and that is about it. Now we'll shift over to the gameplay segment where I'll show you the gameplay footage that we recorded. It was a T5 Damnation run, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. And for those of you that want to support my content, just get this video to 200 likes if you can. That's all I ask, especially since this is a rework of the previous build. But I hope that it helps Voidstrike Psykers out there enjoy playing the Voidstrike staff, you know? Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one. And for those of you interested in the gameplay footage, we're getting to that right now. Damnation with Voidstrike, huh? Gotta love it. Gotta love it. The only reason I wasn't switching to staff to quell was just because I was trying to sight the enemies. And to be fair, the quell rate is the same. Oh, no. Screw you, hound. Not touching my boys. Alright, let's go.
Touchy. God dang it, these days I've been too hot. My scalp is dry as heck.
Understandable.
Pain in the ass.
Now this time I'm switching because I want to use my actual attacks. So earlier I was just sighting my enemies and spamming the brain burst. Now I'm actually using my actual attacks. Mashed.
Looking like match player.
Well, I'm literally mashing all these humming beans, so There's the Tox Flamers. Sono te, oh my god, we actually got a player, yay! Alright.
Door can be opened if you have the wit to find the release.
I can find the release. Got you a medipack, buddy. Let me know when you want healing, okay? Just use the need healing command. We're all good.
Location reached. Quarantine zone.
I am one with the wall. Got a present for you.
Now I shall look to you for a replacement.
Eat this, ugly.
Hang on, we'll come and get you soon.
Requesting dedicate.
Servo skull engaging Seeker protocols. Yes. This is the scan location. We require your force fixes to track down our quarry.
One. Uh-oh. I got you.
A dead trapper. Saved by fragging Psyker.
Upload your data to the servo skull. Insufficient data. Need more input. Follow the servo skull.
I'm gonna follow you guys.
Outpacing survey team. Unacceptable.
I mean, the dueling sword is pretty nice in general. But I use it mostly for horde clear. Because the only time I ever run the dueling sword is if I'm running the what you call it? The surge staff.
Excessive force authorized. Neutralize them. Those of you sneering at these dwellings, remember, they will want someone's home. Get it out! Come to veterans! We got the hide!
Okay. For Psyker, it depends. I've got builds for three. There's Surge, Pregatus, my personal favorite. That's my personal favorite. And Voidstrike. I'm trying to make the Voidstrike work right now, but it's not quite as easy as expected. That's what I would say. Voidstrike's an okay staff. Like, so this build is working, but yeah. So...
She gives me the EBGBs. Eliminate your primary target.
I mean, an Ogren fighting with a toothpick's pretty okay. The corruption. The Rosine heal.
Engaging war protocols.
There we go. The Voidstrike is a bit weaker than the other staffs because the other staffs can really synergize well with some of the other feats that the Psyker has. I've just never found the Voidstrike to fully synergize well. Like the previous Voidstrike build worked like a charm, but now that the one of the main feats, the Kinetic Shield, has changed, it's actually become quite a problem because what was supposed to be working before now no longer works as well. And that's a pain in the ass for me because honestly, I really would like to do more with the Voidstrike and be able to do more, but the Voidstrike's very nature for the Psyker is very similar to the veterans being a sniper, but you don't have any of the veterans like feats whereby, you know, they can camo themselves, things like that. You don't have that. So the Voidstrike is essentially, and I hate saying this because, you know, it's something that it's the type of judgment that I've always despised, but it really just turns you into a poor man's veteran, and I don't like that at all because I just feel that that is wrong. The Voidstrike should not do that. So I think that the Voidstrike's very nature as artillery should, you know, allow you to behave like artillery. That's what I feel, and that's what I'm not too happy about. The fact that you act like artillery but you don't feel like artillery. You just feel like a CC mortar engine, which is okay, but again, not like the ideal, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel on it. No, veterans can do that with a good last gun. Like after I'm done with this, I'll ooh, not on T5. No way, not on T5. Like the greatest part about it is shooting through hordes. Like that I'm okay with.
Kindly of me, you know. I might be listening.
Don't worry about it. I'm an equal opportunity sociopath.
I'm an equal opportunity sociopath. I love that. I'll tell you, the lines of banter never get old, no matter how much I play this game. I feel like they're right. You are artillery. You are this very, very powerful mortar cannon, you know? But it's just that you don't have feats. Like previously you had feats to protect yourself, which I was happy about because look, if I've got 4 warp charges, I have 33% range damage resistance, which means that my artillery is gonna destroy you. I was well protected artillery, but now they've based it on peril. But the thing is, I'm constantly quelling peril to regenerate toughness. So it means that once I quell to regenerate my toughness, I no longer have the full damage resistance, which is why it's such a nerf. You know, and I'm going to talk about this when I do the Voidstrike video, but it is a pain in the robot hole. You know, it is truly difficult, and I'm not too happy with that. Like, I think that they really nerfed, like, for me, they have forced a completely different build than what I would normally utilize, and that annoys me greatly, and I'm not happy. I think that might be an interesting idea, Damp Intellect. Like, they could certainly give the staff some penetration. Sure, that could work.
Reaching the Empyrean! Time to be stoic, veteran.
Don't touch me, Psyker.
Hold that pose. Eliminate your primary target.
But even if nothing else, at the very least, I'm seeing myself able to bring some good value. Maybe not the best value, but still some good value. And hey, if this is working in T5, it should work. It should work in anything below that, which is okay.
Off, you sanctioned!
Stick together.
Show me that ugly grin! Reaching into the wall!
Reloading.
I called the wall! Hold that pose! They killed the roughneck!
I'll hold them back for you to burn. Okay, we'll go rescue Jordan as soon as that passes.
Oh shit.
Hey, shoot.
I
How was your day today?
bit rough, but it okay.
Bit rough, huh? Okay.
Don't lie to me, roughneck! So you didn't like me?
Hi. Okay, surviving. We're doing T5. Surviving.
Your region has D5. Wow.
You do the same for me!
No, I've got Jordan and Manji with me, so it should be okay though.
Excessive force authorized!
Not too bad. Testing the Voidstrike build. It's okay, at least it's working.
I feel another headshot coming on! The hound is no more! Sighting in!
Very calmly annihilating my enemies as best I can. Oof, I'm full concentration mode. Does the block on the sword do anything special? You talking about the Force Sword? Yeah. Oh my god, we made it. Let's go. I got your back. Okay, Crusher's out of the way.
The gantry's collapsing.
God damn, I've never seen 4 random people coordinate this hard before. 4 dirty dwarves. Let's go. This is like literally like consistent cover fire. I heard the doge. Stopping that doge. What is this insane military precision?
Precision fire. I'm in no choice. How many did you get?
It's called crab walking. Ooh. I'm in position. Get to that lander.
P5 slap you hard, yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
2 hit and your toughness gone, Jesus.
Voidstrike build works. Okay, nice. And I got a Devil's Claw for that, which I don't want, but anyway, okay. This Voidstrike build is verified.